Ridiculous, but we kind of expect that from him now. Anthony Davis, so key for these Los Angeles Lakers. By the way, when you're looking at these two teams back from 2020, Jokic, Murray, and Porter are the remaining guys from that Denver squad. LeBron, AD from the Lakers, KCP switching teams now with Denver. But you look at this, and we're going to play a little game here, this or that. And this is the question I got to ask you. What's more important in this series? Joker's offense or AD's defense? Those two key players right there.
I would say AD's defense. I think the Joker is going to have success.
To win the championship, but this is a different Denver squad. More experience, hungry. They got arguably the best player in the world. Michael Malone, here he is on facing the Lakers once again.
Getting to the finals is all that matters. The fact that it is the Lakers makes it probably that much more special for a lot of people that support us. And if that's going to allow Ball Arena to be that much more excited and crazy, then I'm all for it.
Love it. Love the challenges. I'm here to do whatever my team asks me of. And that's that, really. You know, they asked me to guard these guys and make it difficult on them. I'm here to do that.
Yes, I mean, AD's first of all, he's talented defensively, really talented, and they're looking for him. He can score on any kind of basket, and on defense, and he's really, he's athletic, he can block shots, he's leading the playoffs in blocks, deflection with a quick hand, so he's
with somebody who's as equal as a passer to LeBron James, but he's a brilliant passer, and he's a really good scorer, and he's also great at taking advantage of your mistakes. And so he's just a special talent, and he's going to have an impact on this game. I think the other aspect of is, can you figure out a way, if you're LA, to attack him, and attack Denver there, because they've improved defensively. KCP is a terrific defender. Bruce Brown's a terrific defender. Jokic, everyone talks about the lack of defense, but he's a good positional defender. He's not going to give you rim protection, but he's going to control the defensive backboard. And so how can you attack him, make him work on that end? That's something I don't think we've seen thus far in this postseason. He's been able to not have to be a focal point defensively for Denver. And if you're LA, you probably want to try to make that be the case. But this will be the best team, as good as the defending champs were. This will be the best team the Lakers are facing this postseason, and they present the most challenges because of the brilliance of the Joker.
All right, next one for you. Which will be bigger in this series, LeBron's playmaking or his scoring?
I actually think his scoring.
Okay.
And I think because of the way this Laker team is built, they're going to put the ball in Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell's hands a lot, their basketball. And I think one thing that might help the Lakers a little bit is they just played against the best passing team in the league. And so to at least have felt what it's like to have the discipline, right? Understanding how to play backdoor cuts, pick and rolls, and the fact that they do things like this where they invert the pick and roll. They have a small, although Aaron Gordon's not that small, but he's setting that pick for Jokic, who's such a brilliant passer. And if you're the Lakers, what can you do to have Anthony Davis like this play center field, right? Because that's where his greatest defensive impact comes from, his ability to cover and own the paint defensively. That's what makes him special. And you saw Golden State had some success when they could put him in pick and rolls and get him 25 feet from the basket. Now you don't have that rim protection, which is what makes this Lakers group special. So that chess match between Michael Malone and Darvin Ham, that's going to be real interesting. I think the Joker is going to have some success scoring. I think, though, can you limit his ability to make those other guys better? I think that's going to be really critical in terms of the overall success and who wins this series.
Heard an interesting comparison the other day. It was ESPN's Tim McMahon who said, when you look at Jokic, he's a blend of Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash.
They are really needed, or they have a chance to take control or stem a tide. I think LeBron is going to have the ball in his hands. And I think this group now, as they're starting to shoot it a little bit better, the spacing's going to be a little bit better. And I wonder from Denver's standpoint, what's going to be the matchup? I'm sure they're going to throw different bodies at him, but do you go with Aaron Gordon to put that size on him early? We saw how effective he was against Kevin Durant at times. KCP, I think, is going to have to guard him, son. They're going to bring the young kid Brown in the rookie out of Kansas, he's going to, I think, get that responsibility some. So they're going to give him different looks. But I do think his scoring is going to be really important in this series. And then the one other element that I think you'll see more from is him and AD in the pick and roll. Because that's one area, too, if you've got good spacing, he being the equal to the Joker as a passer, that stresses the defense as much as anything when you can go that 4-on-5. Ever been in his career in the postseason. The fact that they've got a lot of different guys. They had 4 different leading scorers in the first 4 games in that second round, which gives Darvin Ham flexibility and different lineups that they can go with. But the one thing they don't have this year that they had last time these two teams met, they don't have the extra bigs. You know, they don't have a Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee, big bodies that you can throw at the Joker that you can just eat minutes of. They're like middle relievers, right? They don't have that with this group. So there's going to be a challenge for Darvin Ham and his staff of how, because they're not going to want AD on him too many minutes over the course of a game, because then it limits what he can do as a help defender. So how they manage that is going to be really important for the Lakers if they want to have a chance to knock off the 1 seed.
5 players for the Lakers averaging double figures, which is crazy to think about because prior to the trade deadline, they had no bench.
Play at a high level and be efficient, and then you couple that with their defense. I think his level of trust with this group is the highest I've seen in a long time. And so while I think his scoring is going to be important, he's going to still pick his spots and trust that these guys can carry a lot of the weight.
30 points was his highest total so far in these playoffs. That was in the closeout game against the Warriors. Okay, one more for you. Which role players do you like better? LA side, Denver side?
Ooh. Well, I like the role players that start with Denver a lot. I love KCP. I think his ability to be a catch-and-shoot guy and then be a tone setter defensively, he's as intense as anybody, along with Aaron Gordon. I think those two guys really complete that starting 5 because they both defended at a high level. They can catch and shoot it. They can also make plays, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And even though Michael Porter Jr. is one of the trio, I consider him more of a role player, too, because he's not a guy that creates a...
Joker has gotten 2 more years under his belt.